I pass a test? Is there a quiz? Hello, everyone! Happy almost Tanabata! Tanabata is, I believe, the 7th or the 8th? Don't quote me on that. And today is the 6th. So I think we're getting, in Japan it's either already happened or it's going to happen. But just in time, we are gonna play Hoshizora no Memoria, hence why I'm all dressed. Well, I'm not dressed. I wanted to find a kimono, but I couldn't find a kimono. But the background is very Tanabata appropriate. Dijan. I couldn't find a nice kimono for myself, unfortunately. Hello, Glockness. Hi. Orihime and Hikoboshi, yes! We were just learning about that in Hoshizora no Memoria. And perfect timing, honestly. We are gonna play right on the cusp of Tanabata. We are gonna play exactly at the same time as it is in the game, which is so cool! I love it when, like, the game time and real life time syncs up like that. That's so cool. 7-7 Star Festival. 7月7日7いやじゃなくていや7時日 I don't know. 92%, yes. Hello, Severin. Nanashi, you are correct. We are at 92%. We are so close. So close, chat. So close. Can you taste it? Can you taste it? We are so close, but now is not the time to get complacent. Now is the time to continue trying more than ever. So I'm going to continue trying my very best. And I finally coordinated with the programmer, and there's a couple of things I want to tackle, aside from volume adjusting the lines. So rest assured that I'm trying my very best to continue to push the game forward and the project forward. Right? What am I right about? That it's not the time to get complacent? Yes. No. Don't congratulate me yet. Don't congratulate me yet. No, you'll jinx it. No. Don't jinx it. We're not at 100 yet. You can celebrate when we're at 100. Unless we reach 100, like, this stream, which I doubt. I'd love to be proven wrong, though. But I don't think we're gonna reach 100% this stream. So don't celebrate yet. You'll jinx it. That's no good. Please don't jinx it. You don't know the song Kimi no Shiranai Monogatari? I don't know that song. I do know Nagare Boshi from Sailor Moon Stars. I know that song. It's so close! We are so close! Ever so close! Only 8%! 8%! So, you know, that's very exciting, but I don't want to get lax. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I got this in the bag. Yeah, I don't have to try anymore. No, I have to keep trying. So close. Yes, we are very close. We need 8%, which I think is like exactly 1,450, but I'm rounding up to cover like PayPal fees, so like 1,500. So we are very close. And Cars, the Twitter user, was kind enough to post about it, and they retweeted my crowdfund, and thank you to everyone else who has retweeted my crowdfund and supported it. And I really hope that maybe this push will help us get to over 100, or even, you know, I don't want to be greedy. 100% is great, but over 100 is even more great. So, you know, I just gotta keep trying. In case you're curious, I did do a cover of Nagare but it's really old, and it's like totally raw vocals. It's completely raw vocals. It's not mixed or tuned or anything. It's totally raw vocals. Like if you look, you can find it. You can find it on my on my YouTube channel, but I don't have it listed, I think. Like, it's not in, like, a playlist. But if you look, I bet you can find it. Nagare boshie. I don't even remember the lyrics very well. Ano hi boku wa mamore nakute kuyashi namida koboreta dake. I don't even remember the lyrics at this point, but it's very topical for Tanabata, because it's all about finding stars and shooting stars. You can start voting it in when you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars on Steam and you're making Captured by the Wedding Veil 3. Yeah, at that point I can start relaxing a little bit. At that point I can relax a little bit, but not until then. But I think the great thing about the story is that because it has this hierarchy, the system in place, that I can pretty much slot any character I want. I can make any character I want and put it in this setting, and there's like automatically a hierarchy, there's automatically like a conflict, and I could easily make like a BL version, like a BL spin-off of Captured by the Wedding Veil. I could do like an all Yuri spin-off of Captured by the Wedding Veil. I could do prequels. Like, there's plenty of material left. It's not like this story is like the only version there will ever be. But like, there's plenty of room for like prequels and spin-offs and like fan discs and stuff. If it does well, I mean, it's a free game, so I don't know how it would make money. Because it's free, I don't know how it would make money. I guess maybe off of ad revenue, like if a lot of people come to my YouTube channel, maybe. I don't know how that would work. Like maybe with like paid fan discs or like drama CDs or stuff like that. I don't know honestly how that would work. But I think drama CDs would probably be a cheaper. It would be like a more economical way of putting out more content, because all you have to do is pay the voice actors for like a drama CD. That's like all you have to do. You have to pay the voice actors and then write the script. But that's very easy. But the point is that there's lots of material still to be, like, gleaned. There's lots still to be told story-wise. You know, there's lots left. Like, if it does really well, I could go back to this well and make spin-offs or sequels or prequels or whatnot, you know? New characters, old characters, I don't know. But we'll see. You know, I do not want to get overly confident. That's the last thing I want to do, is to get overly confident and be like, oh yeah, my game is amazing, it's gonna sell a bajillion copies on Steam. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I just want to, you know, keep my nose to the grindstone and work hard and try my best to get the trial version out. That's my biggest priority right now, getting the trial version out. And yeah, like I said, if we reach over 100, then I'm gonna try and get like some extra CG so that you guys are rewarded. I wanna like, you know, maybe, like, I already told you that I have 6 endings written, so I wanna try and incorporate those 6 endings. But of course that requires more pay and whatnot. So, you know, I will continue to try my best. But like I said, the trial version is my biggest priority. And you guys have no idea the amount of work that goes into this. It's like, you would think, oh, it's a visual novel, it's easy. It's not. It's not easy. It's a lot of work. Bug testing, you know, tracking down the voice actors, getting them to record, directing them, editing the script, making sure Renpai is working properly, getting rid of bugs, having like the UI and the CG and the BGM and all that stuff, all the assets. A lot of work that goes into it. Confident bear? I'm not confident. I'm not confident, but I'm gonna keep trying my best. So even if I'm not confident, I can count on my own determination, my own work ethic, and the fact that I put out one game before, and I'm not gonna let that stop me. If anything, having a history of having made one game already puts me at an advantage, because now I know what to do the second time around. First one was a learning experience. This one, I'm taking my experience and I'm making it better, and I'm learning new things to get even more experience. So, it builds on the other. Let me get a really quick sip of water. The first VN to gross $1 kumakkillion. Kumakkillion. I will settle for I'll settle for $1 million. I was gonna say $1 trillion, but that's too much. I'll settle for $1 million. If I make $1 million, that would be amazing. But I'm not gonna. Let's be serious. I'm not gonna make anything. I'm not gonna make anything. It's just what I want to get out of this is, of course, I want people to play the game. I want people to enjoy the game, and I want to get my name out there, so I can hopefully collaborate on more visual novels in the future, whether it's making my own, whether it's working as a writer, or working as an editor, or project director or project manager, by an actual company like Cybird or something. Whoever are the big mobile otome game companies. I think I wanted to help me get myself out there. And of course, the main thing is I want the satisfaction of having made a game all on my own. That's not derivative of anything. That's not a fan game. That's not a doujin game. That's entirely original and entirely my own. I made these characters myself. I created these characters. I wrote the dialogue based on who the voice actors were and thinking about what I want them to sound like. I tailor-made these characters for the voice actors. And I think it really is something to be proud of. Although we're not at the finish line yet. We're not at the finish line yet. So too early to cheer. When I get the trial version done, that'll be great. But there's still a lot to do. The main thing is I need the UI, and once I have the UI, then I can have the store page. So I need to have the store page for Just and Steam. So those are obviously the storefronts that's going to distribute the game. So that's what I'm excited for, but also nervous for. I'm nervous for it because I know they're LARPers and people who try to gatekeep otome games. I had somebody in my inbox this morning why are you trying to make it gay? And it's do you know me? It's Omegaverse. Therefore, being Omegaverse, you would think it plays with gender boundaries, gender binaries, the whole secondary sex thing with Omegaverse, the alpha, beta, omega thing. The whole point of Omegaverse is that men experience the patriarchy as women do, So I hope that it doesn't get a lot of hate. I'm worried that it will get a lot of hate being this isn't a real otome game, you can date women. Or this isn't a real Yuri game, you can date men. I don't want people who have such a narrow idea of the genre, who gatekeep the genre when they don't know the history of the genre. If you look back, since at least 2008, there have been otome games in which you can date women. And there have been eroge that are male-oriented, like eroge, in which you play as a man and you date women, in which you can also date a man. They have existed, they continue to exist, and just because you can date the same sex in a game in which you can date the opposite sex doesn't mean it's not an otome game or it's not a Yuri game. It's both. that you choose the buttons you press screenshot is so eternal. I don't know what screenshot you're talking about. I don't know what screenshot you're talking about, unfortunately. So I'm hoping that whenever the story page goes live, it doesn't get a lot of hate from like gatekeepers and LARPers who don't even know their otome history, who don't know their visual novel history. I don't want that. I don't want that. In fact, there was a PS2 game I just discovered called Hanayome Romanesque, I think it was? I don't remember the exact title of it. Let me look it up. Hold on. There's a PS2 game I discovered in which you play as a woman and you date a variety of men, but the men can also date each other! It's amazing! What is it called? Hanayome Romanesque. I just discovered this game a couple weeks ago for the PS2, in which you play as a woman and you can date men, and then the men are also kind of interested in each other, and that is like an amazing concept. And it's an old game, but like it's existed, you know? Just because otome has BL or GL or Yuri or Yaoi doesn't make it any less of an otome game. Anyway, this is the game I discovered. The white-haired boy and the red-haired boy. The red-haired boy, like, really pursues the white-haired boy, like really heavily pursues the white-haired boy, like pins him down to the bed, like bullies him, like really heavily pursues the white-haired boy. And that was a very pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. I love the gems you can find in retro games, you know? So like, it's definitely a precedent, you know? And don't even get me started on the whole Amare game thing. That's just a buzzword that people came up with in 2020 because they wanted to further gatekeep what an otome game is, and they wanted to like make their own special Western version of it, which to me is not a great thing. To put it charitably. I don't think it's a great thing when you try and reinvent the genre. I don't think it's a great thing when you try, not reinvent, when you try to redefine the genre. And then you pretty much bully every other non-conventional game out. Like I've tried to market my game on Yuri subreddit, on otome subreddit, and I just had like 50 comments just trying to basically bully the game out of existence because it wasn't a true otome game, and it got removed from pretty much every subreddit I posted in because it didn't neatly fit into any category. And I don't think a game should have to neatly fit into any category, and that doesn't make it any less of the genre it is, you know? It's like romantic comedies are both romantic and comedies. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. I will not shut up about the whole Amare thing. It just really bothers me. Like, there's a word for what you're describing. It's just an otome game. It's just an otome game. You do not have to redefine it using a word that isn't even Japanese. It's a Latin portmanteau that's not even a real word. Amare doesn't mean anything in Japanese. It doesn't mean anything. It's not a real genre. It's not on VNDB. It's not recognized in Japan. It's just something that Westerners came up with to, like, make their games more special. Not sorry. Moving on. I swear, I'm sorry. Bear tangent. Don't encourage me. Reddit moment. Yeah, Reddit moment. What kind of coffee? What kind of coffee? I really enjoy the lavender frappuccino, but I haven't had a frappuccino in close to like 2 years because it hurts my stomach. I don't know why. Even when I have it with oat milk, it still hurts my stomach. I don't understand. I don't know, and I don't understand why. Anyway, so today we are gonna be playing Hoshizora no Memoria. Like I said, we're gonna meet Asuho and more of our future classmates as we just transfer into our new school. And it's Tanabata in real life, and it's just about Tanabata in the game. Kirkland Summer Roast Blend from Costco. Is it good? I honestly don't like the flavor of coffee. Kodomo point ne, kohi no aji ga kirai. I know it's probably childish, but I don't like the flavor of coffee. I don't like it. Like, I can have 1 centimeter of coffee and then, like, 5 inches of milk. I need to have it, like, 99% milk and 1% coffee. And then there also needs to be, like, whipped cream and syrup and stuff. I like some sugar in my coffee, or some coffee in my sugar. Let me get a real quick sip of water. But anyway, as soon as possible, I'm gonna have the game store up. As soon as possible. As soon as I get the remaining assets, I'm gonna have the game store up. And I'm gonna work really, really hard to have the game released as soon as possible. I mean, I'd love for it to be released like August 1st, but I don't think that'll happen, given I'm still waiting on assets and there still needs to be programming done. But I'll continue to try my best, and I will try my hardest to get that trial version out. And chat, you all have to promise me, chat. You all have to pinky swear. You all have to pinky swear, cross your heart, hope to die, stick a needle in your eye. You all gotta swear that you will leave a review once the trial version comes out, okay? You all gotta promise me that. You all gotta promise me. You love Starbucks. I do love Starbucks. It's so basic. I love Starbucks. It's not sponsored. I just like them. I love the pumpkin spice latte. Hello, Drake. Happy Tanabata. Happy Tanabata. I believe the whole lore behind Tanabata is that you write your wishes on a piece of paper and hope that they come true, and you tie it to a special branch. You pinky toe swear? I don't know if I want to touch your toe, but okay, I'll accept it. Pinky swear, yay! You be kitty samba, yay! Yeah, I would love it if people left good reviews, because once a trial version have good reviews, that reflects very favorably on the game itself, and that means that it gets pushed more, and it'll be like more on like the front page. The algorithm will pick it up more, and like it's all good things. So if you enjoyed the trial version, which I really hope all of you do, if you enjoyed the trial version, then please leave a review, and I would love it. And I don't know when the full version will come out. I mean, probably sometime in 2027. I just don't know when. Probably not for a while. Not for a while. That's all I can say. Not for a while. It's a matter of assets. It's a matter of funding. It's a matter of assets. You know, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Not to mention bugs and debugging. Debugging took like 2 months on the first game. Blah. But anyway, one last thing I wanted to talk about before we start the game is that I ran a poll recently about whether I should open commissions or not. I think it didn't get a lot of votes, but I think most of them voted for commissions to be open. So if people would like me to open commissions, I will. I have a couple bills I have to pay this month. And it won't go towards the game. This is just for bills. Obviously, if I like make more than my bills, then I will put the rest towards the game. But this is if anybody would like to help out with that, if anybody wants like voice acting or writing, let me know, and I'll open commissions. I might even open them like tomorrow if there's enough demand. I just want to know, because I will feel very stupid if I open commissions and nobody commissions anything. I'm gonna feel really stupid. But if anyone is seriously interested in that, let me know, and I would love to open commissions for you. Okay, let's get started. Can you do world building? I sure can. I can do anything you want me to do. I mean, in terms of writing, I can write anything you'd like me to write. Now let me pull up the game. Bear with me. My wish for Tanabata is to reach 100% within this month. Yeah, within this month, I would like to reach 100% of the campaign. I would also like, well, maybe it's selfish. I would also like to, I would love, well, it's really selfish. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't, it's selfish. But I would really, well, I mean, it'd be really cool. Well, no, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing! Never mind! It's embarrassing. Never mind. Oh, Tommy-chan, where you going? You want out? Tommy? Hold on, Tommy-chan wants out. Tommy-chan? Tommy-chan? There you go. There you go. Okay. Well, it's just embarrassing because it's selfish. But like, I mean, well, it's just really dumb, okay? You can't tell anybody. But I'd really like it if I could make more friends. I know it's dumb, okay? But I moved here, and I don't have any friends here. And I really like to make friends here, you know? And, like, I'd really like to make friends and meet people and be able to, you know, hang out with them and go to movies and stuff. That'd be really cool if I could make friends. I mean, while I'm wishing, I would also like to date Haruka from Sailor Moon. I'd also like to date Haruka from Sailor Moon, because she's so hot. And she's fictional, which means she'll never break my heart. Okay, that is the exact opposite of dumb. Best wishes, thank you. Making new friends so hard nowadays, especially in real life, yeah. I think I've come to, like, resign myself that I can only make friends online. Because I'm so awkward in real life. I'm so awkward. And, like, I'm always super wary because it's like, are you a cool person? Or do you think people are, like, morally wrong based off of fiction? Are you normal or are you an anti, pretty much? Like, I'm always super nervous when I meet new people because I'm like, are you normal? Or do you think like fiction means your whole moral scale or something? Not so sure about the Sailor Moon one, but Haruka is so hot. She's so hot. Okay, let's go over to gaming. It do be like that. It do be like that. Okay, let me pull up the game. Oh, whoops! I'm in the center of the screen. I didn't mean to do that. This good? Yeah, this is good. This is good. This opening is very soothing. This opening menu, very soothing. I'm gonna get a sip of water while this loads. It do be like that, yeah. I always, like, I'm always suspicious because I thought I had somebody who was a really good friend. And then we've known each other for years and years, and then she got upset over like a fictional opinion, like opinion on fiction, and then she decided to break off the friendship of nearly a decade because she didn't like how I thought about a piece of fiction, and that's just crazy. All right. Meanwhile, someone asking me if I'm normal. Have you met me yet? Yeah, I mean, I was just talking with Misery. Misery is another VTuber. I was just talking with her, and she was saying that, you know, if you're ever in the area, we should totally meet up. And I'd love to do that. Because she and I are very, very much on the same page about a lot of stuff. We have a lot in common. So I think it'd be really cool if she and I could be real, like, IRL friends. But the major thing I try and keep in mind is that online friendships, very tenuous. They can break at any time, you know, unfortunately. All you gotta do is not message somebody and then you never speak to them again. I speak from experience. Okay, let me get a sip of water. This game is beautiful. I love the visuals and the UI. I love everything about this game. I feel like the frequency of dumb, dummy, and other insults flying my way has gone up recently. Not that I'm one to talk. I call her names all the time. You're so mean to Shinami-chan. I hear cicadas or cicadas. I don't know how I say it. Well, I understand what she's getting at anyway. Regardless of how much Mare resembles the girl from the lookout, I'm pretty stupid for clinging to this old memory. If I really wanted to find the girl I knew from the lookout back then, maybe the most realistic approach would have been to look up her name in government records instead. Anybody remember phone books? They just had your name and your address written out in phone books. Your name and phone number. Not to mention, the fact that my first priority was just seeing this girl was pretty stupid too. I wouldn't be surprised if the girl from the lookout was just avoiding me because she was mad at me. Yumemi Hill has a fairly gentle slope, but in turn it stretches out from a fair distance. Originally, the hill and the— oh my god, we're in geography hell! We're in geography hell again! Shit! We're never gonna escape geography hell! Oh my god! Oh my god, we're never gonna escape the hell of the geography info dump! No! Hoshi Memo is one of the few visual novels I would give a 9 out of 10. I'm a very generous rater. I give like 8 out of 10s a lot. 9 out of 10s I give occasionally. Only like my favorite games I would give 10 out of 10. Only like my favorite games will I give 10 out of 10. Hello, Pumpkin! I'm glad you made it! Happy Tanabata! We just started playing, so you didn't miss much. What would your wish for Tanabata be? Not the exposition! I know! We're stuck in geography hell again. Okay, let me get the game window. Originally, the hill and the lookout were considered sightseeing spots despite the fact that the few tourists came through the area. But now the lookout was closed for reasons unknown to me. So at this point, there wouldn't be anyone but students climbing the hill anymore. I don't know if any of you were here last time, but there was like a 5-minute detour just talking about the town's population and stuff last time. Although it probably helps Hibari High students build up their endurance.
だから何度も同じ言葉を言わせないで。生徒の屋上の使用は禁止されてるって言ってるじゃない。
I love the heavily blurred background. It's like my favorite effect. That's why I have it in my game. Actually, in all of my games, I have like the blurred background effect. And of course, the sprites are great. Then, just as I was passing by Hibari High.
それじゃあテンクルの意味がないってこっちだって何度も口酸っぱくして言ってるでしょ
Kumomo-chan! What if you use like the second highest like point? Like not the roof, but the classroom right below the roof. There were 2 female students arguing near the school gate. One of them I didn't know, but the other one was Minahoshi Asuho, the girl I saw dressed as a maid earlier that day. Thank you for the recap. I appreciate that. If there were any other people around, I certainly wouldn't have been the only one staring at the spectacle these 2 girls were making. That's just how loud the 2 of them raised their voices as they argued. I could see them glaring at each other, which made it even more clear how tense the atmosphere was. You love Kumomo's route the most? I heard there was twincest in it.
テンクルの意味って言われてもたかが同好会じゃない。視聴覚室を使わせてあげてるだけありがたく思ってよ。
Are you like the club president or something? Why are you being so mean?
視聴覚室だけじゃスクリーンに天体図映すくらいしかできないんだよ。いつまでもニヤニヤ眺めてればいいじゃない。
What? Tsundere! She's a little mean.
それじゃあ健全な天体観測とは言えないんだよ。
Also, let me know how the volume is. If it's too loud or too soft, let me know.
あなたたち同好会にはそれで十分でしょ
Hey, that's totally against the whole point of like astronomy, just to look up at the sky.
全然十分じゃないんだよ。最近なんかみんな飽きちゃってトランプ三昧になってるんだよ。これで視聴覚室も取り上げる理由ができたわけね。
No, don't be mean. You can't take away their club room.
どうしてそこまでテンクルおめの敵にするんだよ、コモモちゃんは。私のこと名前で呼ばないで。
Kumomo.
今日は七夕なんだよ。
Yeah,
7日は雨の確率が東
I can't believe it lined up so perfectly.
エゾ中なんだから雨でいいのに。織姫と彦星が私を待ってるんだよ。天帝に引き裂かれた二人は今年ようやく催涙雨を枯らすことができたんだよ。
Lacrimal? The lacrimal rain run dry? Lacrimal rain?
催涙雨というのは織姫と彦星が流す涙のことですよ。七夕の日の雨をよくそんな風に呼ぶんです。
The next thing I know, another female student was standing near me. I didn't notice her presence at all, so it startled me a bit.
以前にもお見かけしましたね。彼女さんとは仲直りされましたか？
Everybody thinks we're dating Chinami. Everybody thinks Chinami and I are like boyfriend girlfriend. Not yet, we're not. But soon. Kosame! I love twins. I love twincest. The misunderstanding from the other day was still alive and well. I love like the very thin line work. It's so good. It's so delicate and thin. And the coloring is like sublime. Whoever did the coloring, I don't know if it was just the background or the sprites, but it looks really, really great.
今日は何かひばり港にご用ですか？観光客さん。
Well, actually, I'm not a tourist. It was the second self-introduction I had to do in just one day. My name is Kokosaki Yo, and I'll be transferring to Hibari High as a second-year student next Monday. Pleased to meet you. I introduced myself politely. Yeah, I love Twincest. It was the second time I'd moved, so I had a clear understanding of how important it actually is to make a good first impression.
これはご丁寧にありがとうございます。私はひばり校の2年生、久垣小雨と申します。
She went up to me, returning an even more polite self-introduction.
今日は転入手続きに来られたんですか？
The other two were still arguing, but over here we were having a peaceful conversation. I've already submitted all the paperwork to the proper school staff members, but
敬語じゃなくてもよろしいですよ。私たち同学年じゃないですか。
Oh, thank God, we don't have to use Kegel. I hate Kegel. Kegel itane! Nah. Kegel itane. Honestly, I just wish she would stop talking so politely herself.
以前もこの近くを歩いていましたよね。
Yeah, she's still speaking in Kegel! She's still speaking super politely. Yeah, I had some stuff I needed to do at the lookout. The same goes for today, actually.
展望台。
She tilted her head to the side, looking at me with a perplexed look.
でもあそこは立ち入り禁止なのに、どんなご用で？早く屋上の鍵貸してってば。もう一番星見えちゃってるし、急いで望遠鏡を運ばないとなんだよ。そんなに天体観測したいなら自分の家の屋根でやればいいじゃない。
But that's not safe. The roof of a house is different from the flat roof of a school. Why don't they just put gates up? You know, like fences, like wire fences on the top of the roof if they're so worried. It looks like there is already a fence at the top of the roof.
私んち喫茶店だからそんなことできないんだよ。以前やろうとしたら外から見えるし集客に関わるって言ってお父さんがダメ出ししたんだよ。じゃあ潔く諦めることね。
Girl, you gotta like make your own key in secret.
諦めきれないからこんなに頼んでるんじゃない。どうして分かってくれないの、こももちゃんは。私のこと名前で呼ばないでって言ってるでしょ。相変わらず平行線ですね、はずほさんと姉さんは。
Ne-san? After hearing that, I realized that the girl in front of me looked very similar to the girl arguing with the maid. Or rather, they were practically identical. One time, in middle school, I think, or maybe high school, there were two identical twins, and they were both in the same class!
七夕だったら天体観測じゃなくて笹の葉に短冊結んで願い事でもやってたらいいじゃない。 そんなバレンタインさんを祝わないでチョコだけ送るような真似するなんてテンクルの直りなんだよ。
Yeah, you gotta commit. If you're gonna celebrate, you gotta commit.
たかが同好会にはぴったりね。
Wow! Kumama, that's going too far.
そもそもテンクルを部として認めてくれないのもこももちゃんのせいじゃない。名前で呼ばないでって何度言ったらわかるの？それと天体観測愛好サークルを部として認めないのは部員数が少ないからであって私のせいじゃないでしょ。
I have a feeling we're gonna have to join the astronomy club to have enough members.
そんなことない。部員が集まらないのもきっとこももちゃんの差し金なんだ。自分の非を他人に転嫁するのはやめてくれる？絶対こももちゃんのせいなんだ。絶対こももちゃんのせいなんだ。こももちゃんのこももちゃんのこももちゃんのこももちゃんの。
Oh, she's having a little crash out. She's having a little crash out. That was so cute.
名前を連呼するの今すぐやめないと部だけじゃなくて同好会も潰すわよ。
Hey, that's too far. That is too far.
どうもキリがないようですので私行きますね。
What's your plan?
姉さんの怒りを鎮めてからアスホさんをなだめます。
Yeah, go kiss your sister on the mouth. She gave a quick bow and walked away. I was awfully curious about how she would end the dispute, which continued to grow louder, but I didn't have time to sit around gawking forever. Just like the maid said, it was Tanabata. Tanabata is a special day to me. It's the day when I promised the girl from the lookout that we would see each other again. Until now, I haven't seen any evidence that anyone has entered the lookout in over a year. As for that girl, who was registered as a student in Hibari High, it made sense that she wouldn't come to this place of her own volition, considering she found the place repugnant. To her, the lookout is a place to be avoided, a place she can't bring herself to forget, the fork in the road that threw her life off course. Wait, how did you get all this? How did you get all this information? I thought you haven't even met her yet. As such, it's quite hard to imagine that she would appear at this place again. Did I miss something? I thought the whole point of going there was that he could meet her, and now he's assuming an awful lot of information. An awful lot of information that he's just kind of like assuming. How does he know? Which girl is registered? Which girl is a student at Hibari High? Which girl? Who are you talking about? He's not talking about Mare. Or Mare. Although, if she actually did conveniently appear, it would make my job a lot easier.
とすると、これは別人か。
The girl glared coldly at the scattering of footprints in the dirt by the fence. Judging by the size, these footprints belong to two different people. Likely, one belongs to a man and the other to a woman. There were a lot more footprints made by the man, so it would appear that he came here more often. I don't know, but they do. They have she in like parentheses, not parentheses, in quotations. So like, who is the she? Who is this girl? It's not the girl from the flashback. It's not this girl, because she's just a kid. She's just a child when they parted. The footprints, no spoilers by the way. The footprints continued onward into the wood that run alongside the road. They must have gone around the fence and then headed up to the lookout. I'm gonna get a sip of water. Who's this? It would be possible that some tourists had simply ignored the fact that the area is off limit. Wait, are we at somebody else's perspective? I don't know. No, that doesn't make sense. It would be possible that some tourists had simply ignored the fact that the area is off limits and went up to the lookout anyway, but the theory crumbled if it was the same person coming repeatedly. Is this her perspective? I don't know. At that point, the only possibility left was that the person kept coming to the lookout with some sort of objective in mind. So So it's her
私の
perspective.
邪魔だけはしないでくれよ。
It's kind of confusing that we just switched perspectives without any kind of, like, indicator. She is currently enrolled at Hibari High, despite the fact that she has no right to be. My job is to return her to the place where she belongs. So this is her perspective, this girl. And if I'm going to do that, this place is called the goal line.
ゴール手前で石につまずくことだけは避けたいからな。
If his objective is something entirely harmless, such as sightseeing, then no problem arises. He wouldn't visit the lookout too often anyway. For me, the worst case scenario is if his objective in coming here requires him to visit the lookout on a daily basis. In that case, I would have no option but to eliminate him. That seems a little heavy-handed. My job requires me to avoid any prying eyes while I do my work.
どうしたものかな。
So we very abruptly switched perspectives, which was very confusing for me. Either way, the only information I currently have on him are his footprints, so at this point I lack the knowledge to make a decision. I need to gain a grasp on what exactly his objective is in coming here as soon as possible. Once his objective has been clear, the next step will be to decide whether it will be necessary to eliminate him. The girl began to ponder whether or not she should follow the footsteps up to the lookout. However, her thoughts were interrupted before she came to a decision. It's the protagonist. She heard the sound of footsteps approaching from the bottom of the hill.
これはまた。
The person in question had shown up, making the decision for her. The stumbling stone came to me this time. But is it a stone big enough to trip on, or is a stone so small that I can crush it underfoot? Should I remove it before crossing the finish line? With an apathetic expression on her face, the girl brushed her lustrous hair out of her eyes. When the fence blocking the way to the lookout came into view, I noticed another person standing near it. Again, we're like... I wish they would do something to indicate that there was like a change of perspective. Otherwise it's confusing when it's first person. I'd never met another person in this place, so I was shocked, rather than pleased, to see her there. In my game, for example, I hate to toot my own horn, but in my game there are a couple scenes from different characters' perspectives, and when those scenes are from the other characters' perspectives, I have the character in the little side portrait, so you know it's their perspective. She, on the other hand, didn't seem too surprised, instead giving off the impression that she could have been expecting me. She a tourist? The thought didn't come from the fact that I'd never seen her before. Since I'd been away for a while, there were plenty of locals who I hadn't seen before. Rather, I assumed that the locals knew the lookout was off limits, since that's what I heard from the girls at school. And if a person knows that they can't go up to the lookout, they have virtually no reason to purposefully make the cumbersome climb up the hill. Therefore, if you were to list oh my god, that's so long-winded. Therefore, if you were to list one group of people that wouldn't have this information, that would be people from outside, like tourists. Although it's different for me, since I have a specific objective.
この先は立ち入り禁止だ。観光なら立ち去ることをお勧めするが。
She warned me off with a condescending voice. She was quite obviously a girl based on her looks, but on the other hand, her tone was more deep and masculine, which resulted in an overall gender-neutral impression. Really? I'm not getting gender-neutral from her. No, I'm not a tourist. How many times have I been forced to clarify this just today? I just happened to move to this town just the other day. I'm Kokasaka Yo. It's a pleasure to meet you. By this point, my self-introduction rolled off my tongue.
とすると、やはりこの展望台が立ち入り禁止なのは知らなかったのか?
Unlike everyone else I had introduced myself to, she wouldn't give me her name. No, I know about that.
じゃあ、君はなぜここを訪れている?
It's a little something I need to take care of.
君がここを訪れるのは、これが初めてじゃないということか.
Yeah, I have something to do here.
何の用だ?
Yeah, it sounds so suspicious. Let me save. What's up with this woman? Why does she keep throwing these aggressive questions at me like she's conducting some police interrogation? Maybe she owns the land. Are you one of the officials of whoever erected this fence by any chance? If so, I'm definitely in the wrong here.
そういうわけじゃないが。
Maybe she's like the daughter? She listlessly brushed her hair over her shoulder before continuing.
ただ、最近この展望台に勝手に立ち入っている輩がいたようなので気になったんだ。
But aren't you also trespassing then? She directed a cold glare at me. How did she know I was trespassing? I started to get uncomfortable because it felt like I was being interrogated.
それで、君はこの先の展望台にどんな用がある？
If you're not involved with the group that put up the fence, then it's none of your concern what I'm doing and why, right? I don't know, that sounds even more suspicious, yo.
この町の住民として一応注意はできると思うが。
So she isn't a tourist but a local. You mean warn me not to enter here?
まあ、そうだ。
Sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to turn a blind eye.
できれば今すぐ立ち去ってほしいんだがな。
Well, that's a bit of a problem, you see.
どうしても行くのか？
Don't answer that. No! I mean, you're so clearly trespassing. Yes.
大事なようなのか？
Yes.
どんなようなんだ？
I'd rather keep that to myself.
言えないのか？
Not like I had bad intentions or anything. Ooh, I like the PGM. But I didn't really feel like explaining my reason for coming here to a person I literally just met.
言えないというのはやましい事情があるということか。
No, it's not the case.
なら答えてくれ。
I understand why you're giving me a warning, but I see no reason why I would be obligated to tell you what my business is here.
残念だがそうなるね。
Okay, I'm in a hurry. I'll be going now. Ending the conversation with that, I headed towards the woods. You could not be more suspicious, yo. I really don't have any ill intentions, but because of her, now I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Thanks a lot.
もう一つだけ聞かせてくれ。
Yawn. Even after that heated discussion, she still spoke in a cold, emotionless tone.
君はこれからもこの展望台を訪
Don't
れる
answer
のか？
that! She could easily call the police on you. Ah, he's so dumb! Yes, probably. Almost certainly I would. At the very least until the day I met the girl from the lookout again.
そうか。
She curtly acknowledged my answer and left. I felt like I needed to hurry after wasting so much time with her, so my gait quickened as I headed to the lookout. Is our girl there? Nope. However, there wasn't a single person there. Couldn't spot the girl named Mare who always waited here with her Shinigami outfit on. The feeling of a letdown caused a release of tension, and I sat down on a grassy spot nearby. Evidently, I could only find Mare here at night. It was the second time I'd come here around dusk, but just like last time, she was nowhere to be seen. If I remember right, Mare herself said that she would only be here on cloudless nights. So she can't come to the lookout unless the stars are out, I guess. Her parents must be worried sick if they have a daughter her age. Her age, meaning 18. Everybody is legally 18. 18, don't forget. Her parents must be worried sick if they have a daughter her age that sneaks out at night to play. I could see the entire town from up here, and above that town there twinkled just one lonely little star, like a lost child in the sky. Summer's evening star. Jupiter. Wait, is that it? Jupiter? Because there's a star that I see in the sky that's always bright and always out. Maybe that's Jupiter. I thought for a moment that it could have been Venus, which is called Hesperus when it appears as the evening star. but such a star twinkling at the zenith of the sky had to be Jupiter. If the star was at a lower position in the western sky, that would be Venus. The girl from the lookout was the reason I had become so well informed about the stars. Even though, back when I was a child living in this town, I didn't know anything more than what I'd learned in science class at school. After I parted ways with her, I started to immerse myself in illustrated astronomy encyclopedias, perhaps because I needed to distract myself from the ensuing loneliness. I memorized the constellations, and I also read all the different stories and myths behind their names. I especially liked the legend of Tanabata, which I read more times than I could count. Happy Tanabata, everybody. In the past, I often compared our situation to that of Orihime and Hikoboshi. I never found a version of the legend where Orihime gave Hikoboshi a kiss on the forehead, though. And unlike Orihime, I highly doubt that the girl from the lookout ever learned how to weave clothes. However, all of those are mere afterthoughts to me. I simply gazed up at the night sky in Tanabata, wishing for us to someday reunite. The 7th of July is still part of rainy season, so it's usually cloudy, even if we did have clear weather. In the city, Orihime and Hikoboshi could only be seen faintly due to all the air pollution and neon lights. So I think that it is precisely because I wasn't able to gaze up at the satisfying night sky on Tanabata that my feelings of missing her only grew stronger as time went on. As time passed, the memories of my time with her began to gradually become obstructed as if behind foggy glass. That foggy glass would be the Milky Way if we were in the Tanabata legend. However, thanks to Tanabata, these strong feelings of longing for a reunion never became cloudy, even after my memories of her did. I never stopped yearning for the starlit sky, which the two of us gazed up at Hibarigasaki. I also never forgot about her. I couldn't forget, even if I wanted to. Love the CG. Just like the sky spread out before me. As the sun disappeared below the horizon in the distance, the orange light which once engulfed the town disappeared. Soon, the night sky which I was waiting for began to show itself. Beautiful, beautiful illustrations. Before my eyes, the stars engaged in a contest, each one putting on a dazzling display. All the stars together shone more brightly than even the sun had a moment before. The nighttime sky in the city was nothing compared to this. The sight before me didn't even fall short of the illustrations I'd seen in astronomy encyclopedias. At this point, the stars covered more of the sky than the black void behind them. I felt as if I was drowning in a sea of stars.
これが七夕の星空なのね。
Where did you appear from? She just appeared out of nowhere. I don't know when she appeared, but somehow she was right there next to me. The scythe in her hands, which I'd mentally paired with her by now, looked like it wasn't quite capable of reflecting so much starlight, causing the light to refract and disperse.
なんだか星が多すぎて怖い。
Why is that scary? We're just another star if you think about it. We're just a planet. True, if I keep looking at them for a while, I start to feel the same.
綺麗なものも多すぎるとグロテスクになるのね。
Can't say I quite like that turn of phrase.
織姫と彦星ってどれかわかる？
See that band of light that looks like clouds? That's the Milky Way, and the two stars shining immediately above it and below were Orihime and Hikoboshi.
上にあるのが
Orihime.
下が彦星。
Yep.
よくできました。
We're learning, chat! We're learning our constellations! So she actually knew it before she asked.
じゃあ彦星は
Mare's voice was nearly a whisper.
彦星は織姫のお尻に敷かれてるのかな。じゃあ約束ね。 私たちは必ず再会すること。この展望台で必ず再会すること。織姫と彦星みたいに離れ離れになっても、最後にはちゃんと二人は再会すること。そして再会したら結婚すること。結婚して私のお尻に敷かれること。
That's a funny thing to say.
間抜けな顔して。
It's nothing. Seriously, this girl keeps stimulating my memory so much, to such an extent that I have to ask myself if she's actually doing it on purpose. Maybe I'm just being too self-conscious. Say, do you know how the Tanabata legend goes? Mare didn't answer. If you don't, do you want me to tell you?
別にいい。
I would like to know. Tell the audience. Tell the people at home. Aw, come on, don't be like that. Just listen, okay?
あなたが話したいだけじゃない。
Yeah, I want to info dump at you. Once upon a time, on the shores of the Milky Way, there lived a beautiful heavenly maiden named Orihime, who was the daughter of the god of all the heavens. Orihime rigorously followed her father's orders, and day after day diligently kept weaving, thus creating glittering, beautiful clothing. The god of the heavens was impressed by Orihime's fervor, but simultaneously he felt sorry for his daughter, who hadn't even the time to experience love, despite her being a young maiden of marriageable age. So one day, he decided to marry her off to a cowherder by the name of Kengyu. Thereafter, Orihime and Kengyu began to live together, and they spent every day in happiness and joy.
めでたしめでたし。
Mare arbitrarily ended the story. No, there's more to the story than that.
彦星がまだ出てきてないものね。
Yeah, Kengyu is just another name for Hikoboshi.
そうなんだ。
Yeah. Mare replied in such a vague way that it made it impossible to tell whether she knew the legend of Tanabata or not. Anyhow, Orihime and Hikoboshi got married and were living a happy life as a couple. However, Orihime became too engrossed in her newfound married life and completely ceased weaving clothes, which should have been her sacred calling. Her father, who initially tolerated her laziness because they were newlyweds, gradually grew angry and started to take Orihime away from Kengyu's side. The god of the heavens made Orihime live at the shores of the Milky Way once again and ordered her to weave. What a jerk of a father! You have to marry. What? No, not like that. You can't enjoy yourself. What a jerk! He then told her if she were to turn over a new leaf and approach her work with the same zeal as she'd once had, he would allow her to see Kengyu just once a year. Once a year? On the night of the 7th day in the month of July.
めでたしめでたし。
Is it a happy ending if the story ends right there?
年に一度会えるならいいじゃない。
No, it's not!
私なんて何年も待ち続けていたのに。
For whom?
あなたを。
Why?
知らない。
I was taken aback by that answer. Want to hear the rest?
うん。
Orihime, having been separated from her beloved Kengyu, thus grew motivated by the prospect of a yearly reunion and started to diligently weave clothing again. Kengyu took the promise of a yearly reunion to heart too, and he immersed himself in his work as the two of them awaited the 7th of July with anticipation. However, when it rains on that day, the rainwater makes the water level of the Milky Way rise, thus rendering it impossible for Orihime to cross over to the other shore where Hikoboshi is. Standing on the opposite shores of the Milky Way that separates them, the two of them deeply grieve over not being able to see each other. All they can do is gaze at the river's surface as they weep. I can say from my own experience that, when I was separated from that girl by moving to another city, I too became very diligent in doing my work. I learned as much as I could about the stars. Well, sure, compared to an actual astronomer, that knowledge was presumably very little, but it exceeded the difference of knowledge between a child and an adult. Moreover, I was nonetheless able to effortlessly recite the Tanabata legend from memory, just like I was doing now. Which meant that I could also tell the legend of Tanabata to that girl I once knew that loved the stars. That's not all. I could also recite the other famous myths about the constellations in a romantic fashion. I could teach her about those too. And thanks to her teaching me how fun it was to play with a friend, I could pay her back by teaching her about the stars. In all honesty, I wanted to teach her much more about the stars before our parting.
雨が降ったら織姫は彦星に会えないのね。
Not quite. I forced myself to speak in a cheerful tone of voice. When the Milky Way becomes flooded from rain, unable to bear the sight of the two lovers wallowing in sorrow, magpies come flying.
カササギ
They're passerine birds of the crow family.
小さそうな鳥ね。
You'd be right. That's why they appear as a flock! Uh-oh, I don't like the way this is going. And then they each spread out their wings as wide as they can be and light up to form a bridge. Aw. Thus helping Orihime cross over to Kengyu's side. That's nice.
めでたしめでたし。
Yep. And they all lived happily ever after. Well, that's nice. I thought it would end a lot worse. I had to take a moment to breathe after talking so much. Did you like the story?
普通だった。
It was mid. Do you like the stars?
どうして？
Because you're always here at the lookout on nights with a clear sky. Or are you actually coming here because you're waiting for me? Mare didn't open her mouth, instead just staring at me. Maybe there was some meaning behind that gaze, but I couldn't quite figure out what it was. At that moment, I couldn't spot a single cloud in the starry sky. There was nothing preventing us from seeing the stars during this Tanabata night.
あなたにとってのカササギが。
High up above us, Orihime and Hikoboshi were reunited.
いつか現れますように。
Mare slowly drew closer to me.
ちょっと目つぶって。
Whoa! Why?
なんでも。
That sounds kind of scary. Look at this giant scythe.
怖くないから。
Uh-huh. That's not very reassuring.
早くしてったらお姉さんの言うことが聞けないの。
Hearing those words, I could only comply. I did as she said, and then a short period of time passed without anything happening.
まだ目開けないでね。
I don't know if I like the direction this is going. She could like hit us with the scythe. Her voice came from somewhere very close, making me panic a little bit, even though she was only a child.
開けたら絶望だからね。
An 18-year-old child. It was all too strange. There wasn't a single thing that differed from the scene in my memories. For a moment, I thought I had to be imagining things, but a part of me said that this feeling of deja vu couldn't possibly be mere coincidence. It was my past self. The Kokoisaki Yo who was still just a young boy back then. The part of me which had grown up thought of Mare as an entirely different girl from the lookout. However, the piece of myself from the past, preserved in my memories, told me that they were the same. Perhaps that's because my past self never changed after all these years, just like Mare's appearance hadn't changed after all these years. I loved that girl. I still can't tell for sure whether those feelings were romantic, but regardless, my love for her was true all the same. So then, why is it that I was never able to put those feelings into words before I moved away? Perhaps I would finally say those words if Mare kissed me on the forehead, just like the girl in my memories. Even if she told me not to open my eyes until I counted to 60, I might ignore that, open my eyes, and confess to her. We're still in the comment round! It's too early for a confession! I would beg her not to leave me because I love her. Because I owe so much to her. Because she was the first person willing to become my friend, even though I never tried to make any friends.
ありがとう、ようくん。
At that moment, something lightly touched me. What? What happened? What happened? However, the sensation was not on my forehead, but on my chest? That sensation felt like something that could not possibly exist. For instance, it is possible to take the sensation I'd experienced from someone kissing me on the forehead and perfectly reproduce that sensation on my chest? That is straight up impossible. Because, of course, I was wearing clothes, so how could I possibly feel such a clear warmth directly on the skin underneath my clothes? What is the heartbeat? I don't like the sound of that. I opened my eyes. Since she hadn't told me to count to 60 like the girl from the lookout did in my memories, I did so without any guilt. Ah! Ah! I opened my eyes very slowly, as if I was submerged in thick syrup. Mare held her massive scythe in hand, and the end of that scythe was buried in my chest?
できればあなたが悪夢を思い出している間にはしたくなかったけど。
Even if I had any reason to feel guilty about opening my eyes, such shocking sight would have no doubt cleared my conscience.
そんなことも言ってられなかったから。
But if I were to express the level of shock with the number, that number would surely exceed the number of scars of the sky over my head.
あなたの悪夢は膨らむ一方だったから。
The scythe blade plunged deeper inside of me! All of my shock transformed into fear. The sight before my eyes was absolutely unbelievable, but the vivid image reflected on my retinas forced me to believe it, so that the only urge I felt in that moment was to scream. However, the scream would not come out. The visual information from my eyes threw my nervous system into disarray, paralyzing both my tongue and my throat. Maybe that's also the reason why I felt no pain. Or had I simply lost my mind, causing me to confuse intense pain for a vague warmth in my chest? Could be in shock.
あなたの悪夢は一つ駆られた。
Is that why the warmth in my chest reminded me of that first kiss from my memories? Is that why I felt exactly like when that girl from the lookout kissed me on the forehead? When blank kissed me. Huh? Something felt weird. I felt a mysterious sort of anxiety welling up within me. It was an anxious feeling, like getting lost in a department store for a long time before finding an exit, only to find yourself in a different city from the one you remember being in. I got a feeling sort of like that, as if everything I thought I knew about the world's geography had suddenly been upended. What is this? What's happened to my body? What is this thing that I am so desperately trying to recall? I was trying to recall something from inside my mind, but I didn't even know anymore what it was that I was looking for.
もう何度も言ったじゃない。
Oh no, she's crying! Slowly, tears streamed down Mare's face.
私は悪夢を狩る死神だって。
To me, her tears seemed more beautiful than any star in the night sky. And looking at her, I felt something in my mind slip from out of my grasp.
そのために私はあなたを待っていたって。
It was completely gone, even though it was something that meant so much to me. She, Blank, who meant so much to me. Now I'll never be able to meet Blank again. Blank will remain upset with me, and she will never come to see me. Now I've lost my precious Blank, which means I'll never be reunited with Blank. Huh? What is this? Oh no, baby. It's okay. We can forgive you for stabbing us. I'll forgive you for stabbing me. It's fine. What's a little stabbing? And it's just a flesh wound. I loved Blank. Blank was the first friend I ever had. That's why, even after parting with Blank, I didn't forget her. I told myself everything I could about the stars that Blank loved. I wanted to teach her all about all of that after I'd reunited with her. And then she and I were gonna...
やめて。
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 やめて。 やめて。 やめて。 やめて。 やめて。 やめて。 やめて。
やめて。 思い出さないで。
What's going on? How could this...
辛いのはやだよ。
Finally understood what was going on. I'd forgotten Blank's name. It happened all of a sudden, even though I'm sure I clearly recalled it mere seconds before. That one piece of information alone had been wiped clean from my mind, as if a gaping hole had opened up in my memories. What the hell is this? Now I'll never find her. I'll never be able to see her ever again. Now that I've forgotten Blank's name, I've lost my best clue for finding her, so I'll never see her again. Please, don't do this to me. I promised her we'd see each other again. It was that promise alone which kept me from forgetting her after all these years. I made absolutely sure not to forget it, even after all those years. Did you do this to me? The mysterious sight unfolding before my eyes told me clearly what had brought about the strange occurrence. Give it back. It was a memory so precious. At each given moment in time, just as if it was my sacred calling, I've been wiping it so that it wouldn't disappear behind that frosted glass. And yet, she violated all of that work in an instant. Give it back, damn it! She clouded over Blank's name, which had always remained vivid and clear in my memory. Give me back her name!
Yeah.
With tears running down her face, she squeezed out a refusal in between sobs.
だって私は死神だもの。悪夢を刈り取る死神だもの。
Are you trying to say her name is a nightmare, you?
そうよ。あなたが忘れたんだったらそうよ。
Her endlessly flowing tears were strikingly reminiscent of the lacrimal rain surrounded by the torn apart lovers. Summoned by the torn apart lovers.
よかったね。
With her contorted, tear-stained face, she nevertheless spoke firmly and with resolution.
これで悪夢に悩まされずに済むんだものね。
No, girl, I think you just made it worse. I think you made it worse. The vastness of the sky was filled with a myriad of stars on this Tanabata night. Surrounded by a frighteningly thick sea of lights, Orihime and Hikoboshi remained as before, separated by the Milky Way.
本当によかったね。よく
The heavenly couple then disappeared behind the clouds. What? That is a crazy place for the prologue to end. Opening? Maybe? Opening movie, maybe? Yes! Oh, this opening goes so hard! I love this opening so much!
見上げた空きらめいてる流星時を超えて願いを運んでゆく遠い記憶小さな丘の上で語り合った大きな未来の夢つないだ指先離れても忘れないからと約束したいつか叶える物語映し出す二人を結ぶプリズム同じ空をどこかで見ているから君に伝える
星空に夢を繋がって I love this opening, it's so good! What a wonderful, wonderful opening. Is that it? Can I save? July 9th, Monday. So we skipped a whole day, I think. Oh, it looks like he really did forget. So I guess he has like amnesia now. Let me save. Wow, he really forgot everything. I guess he forgot the name. And now he's acting like everything's normal. I stood in the entrance and shouted up the stairs. What are you doing up there? This way we're gonna be late on our first day.
だってこの制服着るの初めてだからリボンとかボタンとかうまく止められないんだもん。
Oh no, I guess we're gonna have to help her get dressed. Shinami was still holed up in her room, taking a long time to get ready for school. As I stood downstairs in my well-starched uniform, impatiently waiting for Shinami to appear, I felt the fluttering in my chest that was a mixture of both unease and excitement. It was our first day as students at Hibari High. As such, we were expected to drop by the faculty office before the start of homeroom and meet our respective homeroom teachers. That's why I wanted us to leave as early this morning as possible. A quick glance at the time on my cell phone told me that we only had 10 more minutes until homeroom began. Judging from my prior experiences climbing Yumemi Hill to the lookout, so he does remember the lookout. He remembered the lookout, he just doesn't remember the girl's name. I figured that we had to leave right that second to get there on time. It was my first day at Hibari High, but I didn't have any time to cherish the beginning of this new chapter in my life.
お待たせお兄ちゃん。制服も着終わったし、髪もセットしたし、準備万端。いざひばり公園レッツゴー。
So cute. One thing before that, did you remember to put on your name tag?
ちなみは幼稚園児じゃないよ。
And you didn't forget your handkerchief?
それだったらスクバに入ってるよ。
I love it. They have this little pocket right here for the breasts. I love it. But I don't see your book bag anywhere.
そんなわけないよ。ちなみの右手がしっかりくっきり力いっぱい。ちなみ愛用スクバを掴んでるよ。
Really? I'm not seeing a book bag here. Looks like you're holding your piggy bank if my eyes don't deceive me.
なんてこと。
So go grab your bag and hurry up.
これはまさか餌を与えなかった小豚の呪いが。
No, you just grabbed the wrong thing, stupid. That's so mean. Don't make me leave without you.
そんなのやだ。すぐ戻ってくるから絶対待っててね、お兄ちゃん。
Couldn't help but sigh as I watched Shinami rush back up the stairs. Yeah, even when we were still living in the city, Shinami would leave the house so late that she was nearly tardy every day. And then the empirical probability of me waiting for her or not was a clean 50%. Despite the fact that we now lived close enough to walk instead of taking a bus to the school, that tendency of hers hadn't changed one bit. She looks so kidnappable. She's so adorable. And as I got tired of waiting, no, you're so mean. As I got tired of waiting and left the house, I ran into a female student that was just about to pass right in front of me. Oh, it's our neighbor. It's our neighbor. The moment our eyes met, the girl stopped in her tracks. I recognized her face. She was the girl that showed up at the door when we went to say hello to our neighbors. Judging by her uniform, she was a Hibari High student. Hello there. I chose to play it safe and go for a polite greeting. Although, I was actually pretty sure she was younger than me. Hibari High has 2 sets of uniforms, and her uniform marked her as a student as a grade below me. Besides that, her appearance also made her seem younger than me. Ah! She's ignoring us! Ah! All she did was issue a curt nod in reply before continuing to walk in the direction of Yumemi Hill. Now hold up! As I called out for her to stop, she looked back at me and tilted her head curiously. You're going to school, right? Can I walk with you? I wanted to get on friendly terms with our neighbors right away. Perhaps the atmosphere in Hibarikasaki had an effect on me, since unlike in the city, I didn't feel like everyone was so busy all the time. I guess you could say that I felt more at ease in this place. Either way, it's important to get to know your neighbors. today's actually my first day at Hibari High, so I would really appreciate it if you could show me around, at least if you don't mind.
ああ、お兄ちゃんがお隣さんと親睦深めてる。この前メイドさん食べたばかりなのにまた食べようとしてる。そんなに我慢できないならちなみもデザートに。
Chinami, no! You're gonna make us out to be like a lady killer. You're gonna make us out to be a playboy. Have we met before?
他人のふりされてる。いつかの変な人。ちなみは変な人じゃないよ。以前のあれはこの人の陰謀であって、ちなみは悪くないんだよ。だから仲良くしてね、葵ちゃん。
Oh, two patonkos, two lolies. Oh, although she looks flatter than her. Then again, she's thrusting her chest out. Which one is flatter, chat? Which one? They both look pretty flat. I need to know for science. You shouldn't act like her best friend before you even get to know her. Yeah, sorry, you'll have to excuse her. My sister really doesn't have any manners.
いつかの変な人の変な保護者。
She already put me in the same category as Chinami. I know that Chinami screwed up her first impression, but I at least should have gotten off on the right foot. Our neighbor walked off, going up the hill by herself. Now I'm getting treated like a freak too because of you.
自業自得でしょ。
Yeah, it was your own fault. Did you lock the front door?
バッチリだよ。
Since Shino-san likes to sleep in, we have to remember to lock up when we leave. Alright, then let's get going.
その前に見てみてお兄ちゃん。ちなみのお兄の制服だよ。可愛いでしょ。美しいでしょ。お兄ちゃんが望むならこの姿でお料理だってお掃除だって。
She's so kind and so devoted. Chinami deserves the entire world and not a mean Oni-chan. Neighbor girl, wait for me!
逃げないでよ。お兄ちゃんのバカ。
They're both pretty darn cute. I think what's more interesting is who's more kidnappable. The blue-haired girl seems shy, but is less likely to follow strangers into alleyways. Do not plot to steal the loli. That's bad. I ran as I climbed up the hill. We were already late for school. Nearly late for school. I hardly saw any other students on the way. They made it pretty easy to find the neighbor girl again. Since she was walking along at a leisurely pace, even though she needed to hurry if she wanted to arrive on time. Although thanks to that, I managed to catch up to her in no time. Hey there, neighbor! After I caught up to her and matched her gaze, she slowly turned to look at me.
また出た。
Who translated this? Who translated Matadeta as the beast continues to stalk its prey? She talked about me as if I was some kind of monster. You don't mind, could we walk to school together? I tried to put on a sincere smile when I asked her. Moreover, her face betrayed no emotion whatsoever. She responded with neither a yes nor a no. 1 second went by, and then another. An awkward atmosphere hung in the air between us. How to describe that moment? I suppose I felt that I had made a mistake by even trying to talk to her. Is she still upset about that trick we used to lure her out of her house the other day?
追いついたーっと。
I love that little slide whistle sound effect. Shinami suddenly popped up from behind us.
また出た。
I love this translation.
ねえねえ、葵ちゃんって何年生？下の名前はなんて言うの？
For once in my life, I was actually thankful for Chinami's audacity, since she blew away the awkward atmosphere in an instant. I'm Kokosaki Yo, second year at Hibari High, and this is my little sister, Chinami. She's a first year. I went ahead and introduced us both, so that it would be easier for her to respond.
1年、葵いすず。
She responded curtly, but her stony mask didn't crack. So it looks like you and Chinami will be in the same grade, huh? She was a first year, just like I thought. Oi-san, don't you think we should pick up the pace? I'm pretty sure the bell's gonna ring in a few minutes.
なんか慣れ慣れしくなった。
I'm sorry for bothering you. Oi-san's expression still didn't change, and she felt completely silent. It's kind of hard to keep a conversation with this girl.
葵ちゃんって1年の何組なの？葵ちゃんと同じクラスになれるといいな。部活は何入ってるの？葵ちゃんと同じ部活に入りたいな。
Aw, Shinami's trying so hard.
でもちなみは文化系よりも運動系が得意だから、葵ちゃんが文化系の部活だったら残念だけど離れ離れになっちゃうかな。それでも遊びに顔出すからね。
I like this kind of detail that her blouse isn't quite buttoned all the way. And whereas it's neatly buttoned here, but this one it looks like it's not buttoned all the way. Shinami keeps firing off words with her characteristic machine gun mouth, as if she didn't even notice that Aoi-san was thoroughly ignoring her. I'm not even kidding when I say she probably had over 100 friends at her school back in the city. Hey, you weren't so mad at us for the way we introduced ourselves right after moving in, are you?
そんなことないです。
At least she responded to that question. I'm really sorry about that. I'll bring you some more souffles next time we have some.
お構いなく。それにしても葵ちゃんって純真純情少女だね。新聞の集金だって言ったらあっさり引っかかっちゃうし。
No, Shinami! No! You're just gonna make her feel like you're making fun of her.
黙れゲロ。
Whoa! Sharp tongue! Sharp tongue! Damare? Sharp tongue. Did you really just say that?
失礼。
I don't quite understand how to handle this girl.
葵ちゃんって面白い。
Oh my god, Shinami! Instant recovery! Instant recovery! Hello, Jax! Hope the game is cute today. The game is cute! We are playing Hoshizora no Memoria. We had a very interesting prologue, and now we're in the first day of school. How are you? A girl like Shinami couldn't be discouraged so easily. We finally arrived at Hibari High school gates after a few more minutes of that kind of back and forth. I looked at my watch. There were less than 3 minutes until the bell would ring. I love all the different little characters. Regardless, Aoi-san continued at her own leisurely pace as she passed through the gate. We have to stop by the faculty room now, Shinami. Come on, we gotta hurry.
葵ちゃん、また今度お話ししようね。
She just walks away. Aoi-san wordlessly disappeared into the school building.
初日なのにもう友達ができちゃったよ。
I wouldn't consider her a friend. She's so earnest. I love her. Shinami looked very pleased with herself, even though her conversation with Aoi-san hadn't actually amounted to anything. You're good? Okay, I'm glad to hear. Sure would be nice if you two wound up at the same class, huh? She's so cute. How can you not love her? I had entered the school building once before when I came here to take care of our school transfer paperwork on the day we arrived at Hibari Kasaki. So I remembered where the entrance was, but we still didn't have a shoe locker to use if we went in that way. So we made a beeline for the visitors' entrance, all the while praying that the bell wouldn't ring. The faculty room was located on the first floor of the school building. Since Shinami and I were in different grades, we also had different homeroom teachers to see. This is where we parted ways. By the time I finished introducing myself to the homeroom teacher, the bell had already rung. Once we were done in the faculty room, the teacher walked me up to the 3rd floor. We walked down the hallway for a little while, and then the teacher stopped in front of one of the doors. 2A. That was the classroom I'd been assigned to. He entered the classroom, but he told me to wait outside. Evidently, he was going to introduce me to the class as a transfer student during the morning homeroom. And then he would ask me to do some sort of self-introduction. I could feel my heart thumping. Just say you like astrology, that's normal! That's normal! You can't be like me, it's like, I like it, okay! The situation reminded me of the first time I moved. I felt the exact same anxiety. Will I fit in with anyone in the class? Will anyone want to be my friend? These questions flitting through my mind made me feel anxious. Geez. I guess this isn't something you can get used to, even if you've done it before. There's no way you could ever get used to this. I wonder how Shinami's holding up. Knowing her, she's probably gonna go overboard with her self-introduction. With her incessant triple attitude, though, I'm sure she'll be friends with her entire class soon. What about me, though? Will I be able to make friends in my class as easily as her? Will it be like last time? It wasn't easy at first, but it wasn't too long before I made some friends. I really shouldn't be so pessimistic. At this rate, I'll just end up the laughingstock of the class. The girl from the lookout would have laughed at my worries. She was the one who taught me how much fun it is to spend time with friends. And after finding out about how fun it is to have friends, I became a different person. I wasn't the same old loner who would turn down his classmates' invitations to play. After we moved away from Hibarigasaki, socializing at my new school was definitely hard at first, but I managed to make a good number of friends once some time had passed. Although I never amassed over 100 friends like Chinami did. When I looked up, my eyes met those with the female student who was walking down the hallway. Her face looked kind of familiar, but more importantly, why was she out wandering the hallway when the homeroom had already started? Hello, Alistair. Like your name. Hello. Welcome. Today we are playing Hoshizora no Memoria, the HD version.
そこの生徒、もうホームルームが始まってるのに、なんで教室の外に出てるのよ。
Is she like the school president? Why is she being such a stickler for rules? I wanted to ask the same question to her. Maybe she's on the student council? Maybe she's on the student council. That's what I'd like to do, but wait, aren't you missing class right now too?
生徒会のミーティングが長引いただけだから。とにかく、
Yup, student council. That explains it. Well, the thing is, I'm a transfer student and this is my first day. I just had to hope that she would actually believe my explanation.
ああ、そういうこと。
Evidently, she believed me.
あなたが小笠坂陽君なんだ。
Although I didn't expect her to know my name already.
早くひばり校に馴染みなさいね。そうしたら、また会いに来るから。
What is that supposed to mean? The girl left and walked down the hallway. Clearly, she wasn't in the same class as me. As I stood there with my head cocked in confusion, I heard my homeroom teacher's voice calling out from inside the classroom. All right, here goes. I'll just have to do my best. I had to do my best so that I wouldn't be laughed at by the girl whose name I'd forgotten. When I opened the door, it creaked much more loudly than I expected. The sound echoed through the air because the inside of the classroom was deathly silent. The air was thick with tension. It felt as if the temperature had plummeted. I lined up next to the teacher, who was standing at the podium, and then I directed my gaze forward. I looked at all my new classmates. A couple dozen pairs of curious eyes stared back at me. I was met with unfamiliar faces everywhere I looked. Of course, I didn't know anyone. Naturally, I felt a little overwhelmed. I felt an instinctual urge to turn and run. I could even see a few students whispering back and forth with their neighbors. Since it was unusual for a transfer student to appear during the month of July, naturally they would start to wonder about the reasons behind my transfer. Why are they taking classes in July, actually? Don't they have summer vacation? Or is it true that summer vacation is only a month in Japan? Although there actually wasn't any scandalous reason that had forced me to transfer. I know full well they weren't staring at me so intently out of spite. But it didn't make the situation any easier to endure, even if I logically knew that there was no malice behind their gazes. The teacher said a few brief words to the class, and then wrote my name on the blackboard and gave me the floor so that I could give a short self-introduction. I see some blue hair, I see some green hair, see some pink hair. Oh, that's right. I still had to introduce myself. I was thinking about what I was going to say before I came in, but now I'd totally forgotten. Must be that girl's fault, the one who talked to me in the hallway. Right, so what exactly should I say about myself? I can't think of anything. Not like me to walk into this kind of situation unprepared. I didn't have time to think this through, because I was preoccupied with thinking about that mayor girl. It took me a long time to regain my composure after all the events that happened at the lookout. I managed to reclaim my peace of mind by not giving up on remembering her name, but rather by deciding that I would remember it again at all costs. Wait, now's not the time for that. I need to focus on my self-introduction! Well, I hadn't thought of any specific thing to say beforehand. It wasn't the first time I'd done a self-introduction. I didn't need to panic just yet. I hadn't introduced myself. I had introduced myself just fine to all the people I met in Hibarigasaki since we started living here. Even if you leave that out of the equation, this wasn't my first time changing schools. What kind of introduction did I give the last time I transferred to a new school? Just give your normal standard introduction. I remember that I didn't make the best impression that time. He's giving a lot of time thinking while he's just like standing there in silence. I must have said something during my last self-introduction, but I have no idea specifically what I would have said. Or maybe I didn't actually say anything to introduce myself back then. Maybe I couldn't force any words out earlier back then, since I just wanted to run away from that place. Maybe I just stood there silently waiting for that awkward moment to pass by. But I've become a different person now. I've grown up, and I don't just mean my height. With both my mind and my body having matured, I should be able to do a self-introduction with confidence. But still, there's no denying that I kind of hurt myself by not thinking about this beforehand. I'm basically repeating myself at this point, but it's crucial when you give a nice first impression when you meet someone. I definitely considered making some jokes in my self-introduction to accentuate that I am an outgoing guy. But I was scared that all my jokes would fall flat. My guy, just say hello, give your name, and say that you like astrology. I would be labeled as the king of cringe if I introduced myself with a bunch of lame jokes. It'd be a Herculean task to remove that smear on my name. I don't have the thick skin and courage that Shinami does. If it came to that, I'd straight up refuse to go to school anymore. You're putting on a lot of pressure on an introduction, which means I should avoid taking on that risk and stick to a stock standard greeting instead. But I feel like that would only have the opposite effect of making me come off as overly boring. Just say something! Just say something! Just say something! I can't just sit here thinking about what to say. I've got to say something. Who cares about anything to clear this awkward silence? This rate, I'll get labeled an egghead that overthinks everything. For the second time, too. Maybe I haven't actually grown up at all. Oh, thank God. One loud voice cut through all of the chattering voices in the classroom. Bless you, Asuho! Asuho, my savior! Amidst the sea of unfamiliar faces, there was one that I recognized. The girl that stood out and raised her voice was the maid I met the other day. Oh, thank God, we have two friends in class. Sitting at the desk in front of her was the girl named Hisakaki Kosame, who I came across in front of Hibari High School gate. Two of them flashed bright smiles at me. Those smiles were proof that they were welcoming me, an outsider. Seeing their smiles made me remember how I had introduced myself to them the day before. Hello, my name is Kokosaki Yo, and I'll be studying here together with all of you from here on out. I only just moved here the other day, so I would be appreciative if you could help me out. I hope we get along well. In the end, I was able to give myself introduction safely without sweating over it too much. You should at least drop a hobby. You should be like, I like astrology. I got the desk by the window. As is typical for the eroge protagonist, the bell rang to signal the end of homeroom, leaving us a 10-minute break until the beginning of first period. Aw, they're cute. Just as I went to take out my brand new textbook for the next class, the girl next to me started talking to me. Oh, I gotta save at the CG. I gotta save. Asuho-chan. The girl at the desk next to mine turned out to be the maid girl herself, Minahoshi Asuho. Caught me off guard too. Oh, I love that we can see the background characters just hanging out. Thank God for that too. Nothing. I'm just talking to myself. Sure, but I'm a little short on cash now, so I might have to wait a bit. The purchase of 2 whole sideboards had left my wallet in a miserable state. Hell yeah! I would probably get teased if I started working at a maid cafe, you know?
別にメイド喫茶ってわけじゃないんだよ。あれはマスターの趣味でそうなってるだけだから。
Oh, he's that kind of guy? I'm surprised he would work at a place like that. The manager sounds like the kind of guy you might find on a sex offender list. Oh my god.
バイトじゃなくてお手伝いね。その店私の家なんだ。マイ自宅。
That was quite the gratuitous English she threw in there.
で、私のお父さんがそのマスターなの。
Ah, so the creepy guy is actually her father, huh? And he's forcing her to wear the maid uniform? Okay. That actually makes it sound even worse. What kind of father makes his daughter dress up in a maid outfit?
そうそう。それで気になってたんだけど、うちの店に来た時に小学校の話したよね。
You come to think of it, yeah. It had been bugging me too. She suddenly bent forward in my direction, started to gaze directly at me with a stern expression. Mwah! 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 What's her
小
deal?
笠坂くんってさ、もしかして。
Her face was way too close to comfort. The distance between us was so unbelievably short that I could actually feel her breathing on me. I hurriedly bent backwards to give myself some breathing room. Nah, nah, trying to back out, nah. Here we are, here we are. Is she short-sighted or what? Hoshi-san?
あすほでいいよ。
She had a big grin plastered on her face as she said that. Alright then, Asuho-san.
もう呼び捨てでいいってば。私たちクラスメートでしょ。
I scratched the back of my neck in an attempt to gloss over my embarrassment. Asuho then.
ようちゃん。
Did she just call me Yo-chan? That sounds a bit weird.
じゃあ、ようくん。
You can just drop the honorific for me too.
それはさすがに恥ずかしいよ。
I think it would be way more embarrassing for you to call me Yo-chan.
でも昔はようちゃんって呼んでたよね。
Asuho once again drew closer to me. I bent my back as far as it would go, even as I was busy wondering what her words could possibly mean. In the past? When in the
よう
past?
ちゃんってあのようちゃんだよね。
Ooh, is she like our secret Osanana Jimi? Our secret childhood friend? Which Yo-chan?
私も後で思い出したんだけど、私たちって小学校一緒だったよね。クラスもずっと一緒だったじゃない。ね、頭でっかちのようちゃん。
The girl named Minahoshi Asuho stared at me from a point-blank range, as if she couldn't see me from any further away. I do kind of remember a girl like that. At the time, I used to be a real egghead, like she said. Although I never intended to be rude, I must have had some kind of atmosphere that made me come off as sort of condescending. I never once accepted people's invitations when they asked me to play with them, nor did it even cross my mind to invite others of my own accord. That's why I didn't have any friends. I didn't even try to make any. It wasn't something that really bothered me, and pretty much everyone else just accepted it and left me alone. But despite that, there was a girl who was always trying to get me to make friends and be social. Maybe she was intrigued by my odd behavior, or maybe she was just worried about me. Right. Pretty sure that girl with the class rep.
私のこと覚えてない？あの頃もクラス委員やってたんだけどな。
Secret childhood friend! Rather than a dependable, stern girl who could control the class with a snap of her fingers, she was more like the sociable girl who was friends with everyone. Unlike the syndicate class rep of my old school in the city, who was basically the exact opposite of that. I don't know if it's just because of her personality, or if her role as the class rep went to her head, but Minahoshi Asuho would always attach Chan to everyone's names, regardless of gender. She wasn't the kind of class rep that would keep the class in line by lecturing anyone that stuck their neck out. Instead, she was the kind of class rep that just naturally treated everyone like her friend and tried to make sure everyone was included.
どう？思い出した？
Yeah, not that I even had to try. It'd be seriously hard to forget someone who stood out as much as you.
本当かな？喫茶店で会った時は他人行儀だったくせに。
Ibarikasaki is my hometown. Meeting a classmate from back in grade school shouldn't be anything unusual at all. However, I was sure that both myself and all my old classmates would have forgotten about each other. That was a bit awkward to actually run into one of those classmates. But it also kind of made me happy to run into someone from my past.
都会に引っ越したって聞いて驚いたんだよ。急な話だったからさ。
He really romanticizes the past. Well, I was surprised when it happened too.
りょうちゃん頭良かったよね。前と同じでこの学校でも学年トップを維持したりするのかな。
Nah, I wasn't that smart compared to my classmates in the city.
やっぱり向こうの学校ってレベル高いの？
Not really, I was just slacking.
りょうちゃん、昔もそんな風に自分はさも努力してないって感じだったのに、いつもトップだったからな。
I swear it's the truth, I've thrown away my egghead title.
じゃあ転入の時試験とかなかった？
I did.
結果どうだった？
I don't know, they didn't tell you what my score was.
嘘っぽいな。
Not really, they didn't.
さっきから楽しそうに話してるけど、お前らって知り合いなのか？
Who is this guy with the hot voice? Who is this guy? Who voices him?
りょうちゃんとはね、小学校が同じだったんだ。
あれ？小笠坂って都会から引っ越してきたんだろ？
Wait a minute, this guy sounds very familiar! Have I heard him in Koichoko? Where have I heard this guy? I need to look it up. I've heard this voice before, I just don't know who said it! Hold on. Characters. Let me see. Who voices this man? Hirai Tatsuya. Okay, let me see who this is. Where do I know him from? He's... Wait a second, he's in Diabolic Lovers? Wait a minute. Who does he voice in Diabolic Lovers? Lido! He voices Lido in Diabolic Lovers? Crazy! Oh my god, this is crazy! He voices Lido in Diabolic Lovers? That's like my favorite love interest aside from Kanato and Diabolic... Wait, I gotta show you guys. He voices Lido from Diabolic Lovers! That's crazy! Oh my god, I can't imagine booking such a big name voice for such a minor character! Oh my god. Is he gonna call me Bitchy-chan? Is he gonna be like, nah, Bitchy-chan? Is he gonna be like, nah, Bitchy-chan? Oh! Lido! Wow! Lovely voice. Love this voice actor. It's Lido from Diabolic Lovers! Oh, he has such a hot voice. Wow! Such a waste of him. I hope he has a bigger role if he's just a side character. Not a very handsome one, too. Ibarikasaki is actually my hometown. I moved away a few years ago, but now I'm back.
ああ、なるほど。
It's definitely him, but he has a higher pitch than usual. Wait a minute, can I play? Wait a second. I'm gonna save.
アスカ君は私と小学校違うから、りょうちゃんとは初めてだよね。
I gotta save. Hold on, I need to pull up like footage of Lethal from Diabolic Lovers. Wait a second! It's very important. I need you guys to hear Lethal. I need you to hear. Do they have like a Japanese one? Hold on. Wait a second. Do they have... trying to find one in which he's speaking in Japanese, not the dub. Okay. I think I found one, but it has like really annoying like subtitles over it. But hold on. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Wait a minute. Wait a sec. Hold on. I gotta pull it up. Sorry, I need you guys to hear. Because it's crazy. It is crazy. Like, the difference in vocal, it's insane. Okay, let me pull it up. Hold on. You need to hear him. Hold on. Can I do a window capture? Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Ah, ba 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 ba. Come on in. This is good. Hold on. Let me make it smaller. Hold on. I know this doesn't make any sense. Just trust me. Hold on. I need to transform it. Let's see. Let's do some cropping. No, too much. Good enough. Okay, let's get rid of the bottom now. Okay. Ah, too much. Hold on. I promise it'll be worth it. That's good enough, right? Yeah, okay. This should be... No, it still shows my, recommendation. Hold on. Bear with me. Hold on. It'll take a second, but it'll be worth it when you hear his hot voice. Hold on. I know I look insane with my hotkeys like this, but bear with me, okay? The heat is frying my brain, but I gotta show you the voice. Closer? Yeah, okay. Awesome. So you gotta hear. Let me turn the volume off for this. You have to hear, okay?
アスカ君は私と小学校違うからようちゃんとは初めてだよね
Okay, let me get rid of all my hotkeys so I look less insane. Okay, so listen.
アスカ未来だ。ま、よろしく頼むわ。
You look insane. You look unhinged with that smile.
にしても、ずいぶん中途半端な時期に転入してくるんだな。もう1ヶ月もしないで夏休みだってのに。
Okay, now you have to listen. You have to listen now, okay? You have to listen. Let me mute. Can I mute this? Hold on. I need to go to other settings. Get rid of the BGM for a minute. Okay, you gotta hear. Listen, it's him. Oh, wait.
さて、どこかな？ピッチちゃん。
It's him!
当ててみて。
It's him!
どうやって入ったのかな？ビッチちゃん。
It's him! God, I love diabolic lovers.
無駄だよ、ビッチちゃん。ネグリジェ姿もセクシーだね。僕を誘ってるのかな？
It's him! I cannot believe they got Sakamaki Laito to do the side character. That is insane. That's crazy. That is crazy. I can't believe they got him! Oh my god, I can't believe they got Sakamaki Laito as this innocent little side character. Oh my god! Oh my god. Can I pull up another clip of Laito? Let me see. Hold on. Did there a different clip of him? I want to get a clip of him from the game. Let's see. Oh, the church scene. Holy crap, I love the church scene. Hold on. I think they found it. Oh, okay. You know what? We're gonna watch the church scene. Yeah, we're gonna watch the church scene, which is my favorite scene in the Diabolic Lovers anime. Yeah. that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch the church scene, which is my favorite scene of the Diabolic anime. Let me pull it up. Sorry I ended it so abruptly, but you need to see this. It's so high. You need to see this. Okay. That is not the right one. I need to capture the window. Where is the window? We do not want that one. Here it is. Okay. We're gonna watch it, cause this is, I don't know, somebody's like bootleg of the show. But you need to hear this because like it is insane. The difference in voice acting from like this side character to like this incredible, like sexy, sadistic love interest. The subtitles are all like fucky wucky. They're all screwed up. So just like ignore the subtitles. Close your eyes and imagine, okay? Yeah, just imagine, okay? I hope this is in Japanese and not in English. Yeah, okay. Oh! I love this anime. I love this anime. Hot! 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 God, I love this. I love this anime. I love this game. What? I can't believe they got him to voice a side character in Hoshizora no Memoria. It's insane. I'm probably gonna get like bonked for copyright. Whoopsie. Probably gonna get bonked for copyright. Whatever. I'll mute this later. I love how he just calls you Bitchy-chan. When it gets too hot and heavy, I'm gonna stop it. Whoa!
信じられるものなんか何もないし、もちろん祈るだけでうまくいくことなんか何もないんだよ。
それでも私は祈るし、信じ続ける。
I cannot believe they have this incredibly prolific voice actor as like a little side character. I cannot believe it. That's crazy. Oh, it's so hot. Yum. Alright, I should probably... Yeah, I should probably stop it before it gets too heavy. In a minute. I'll stop it in a minute. Alright, I gotta stop it before it gets too hot and heavy. I can't show you the rest of it. I cannot believe they got, what's his name? Hold on, I forgot his name. Oh my gosh, what's his name? Hidakawa Daisuke! I cannot believe they got Hidakawa Daisuke as this side character in Hoshizora no Memoria. That is the most insane casting. I would say it's stunt casting, except he plays such a minor character! That is insane. I cannot believe they got Lighto from Diabolic Lovers as this little side character. Now, every time I see this side character, I'm gonna be thinking of Lighto from Diabolic Lovers. You should all watch Diabolic Lovers! It's a great series. Sorry I got off track there. I got too excited by his sexy voice. I got too excited by his incredible voice. You were watching Obsession. You mean the Yandere movie? I hope you liked it. Alright. That's all I got for today, chat. Otherwise, I'll be here all day watching Diabolic Lovers. I hope you had fun. Thank you, Pumpkin. Thank you, Nanashi. Thank you, Cerberin. Thank you, Dolcino. Thank you, Jambalaya. Thank you, Lenham. Thank you, Jax. Thank you, Glockness. And Drake. I think that's everybody. Alright. I hope you all had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm sorry I got off topic. It was just Like, I'm just so shocked that they hired that voice actor for such a little role, too. It's crazy. That is like the biggest flex. Oh my god. Anyway, as I said, we are 92% of the way with the crowdfund for my game. If you want to contribute, that'd be really appreciated. I may or may not open commissions. If you want me to open commissions, please let me know. Private message me or something. I don't know. Reach out to me. And I'll open up a slot for you. Alright. That's all I got for today. I'll see you on Wednesday when we are playing... What are we playing on Wednesday? Lilac. We're playing Lilac on Wednesday. Alright. Alright, everybody. I hope you had fun. I will see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye!